all of this leads up to talking about tactics. And tactics, maybe some people aren't necessarily very used to thinking about like goals in this way, or like how are we going to achieve this goal? We're going to use some really awesome tactics. So what is a tactic? This is a really specific and awesome definition. A tactic is what you do with your constituency to your target to achieve your goals and build your organization. So I'm going to have, so everybody join with me to say it out loud, okay? Tactics are what you do with your constituency to your target to achieve your goals and to build your organization. Okay, so what is that? Pretty much, there are a lot of different kinds of tactics, right? You can have like a protest or petition or different things like that. Who was here yesterday at our talk yesterday? Do you guys remember the spectrum of like activism to research? All those different kinds of things were different kinds of tactics to make change. So right now we're going to talk about different kinds of tactics to achieve your goal. Yes? Great. But first, a couple things about tactics. It's really important to, like I said earlier, about maybe it's about constituency. It's really important to have really awesome, engaging tactics that will help you build your organization. So if you are having a meeting with an administrator, and that's one of your tactics, and the two main people in your campaign go and always talk to the same, or go and talk to administrators, just by having those two people always be the people who are acting, that's not helping build your organization, right? It's not getting more people involved in what you're trying to do. So, so you want to have really good, effective tactics. So, we think of tactics on also being kind of a spectrum. So there are a lot of like lower intensity or less confrontational tactics. There are also higher intensity or more highly confrontational. So we have all of these low intensity or like low, not very confrontational tactics, which these are all really awesome ideas. But let's say that, like, I don't know, you did awareness raising and you did this report, and then you did the calculator and you did this report, and then you did this petition and you got all this information, and then you meet with the decision makers and they're like, wow, that's great. I'm really glad you gathered all that information. We'll think about it. Like, thank you, have a great day. I mean, after meeting the assistant director and the chef yesterday, they seemed like really awesome people, and I don't know if they would do that to you necessarily, but at some schools that would be totally the case. A really important element here is to think about escalation, or escalation of tactics.
And what that means is that you need to begin with low-intensity activities, but always have the possibility of doing more. So if you do the calculator and you report your findings, and the dining service is like, right on, we're with you, we're committing to your goals right now. One meeting, done, perfect. Well, great, awesome, you got what you wanted with a pretty low-intensity tactic. But if they, in Katelyn's example, don't listen to you, you need to figure out and plan ahead for what you're going to do that is maybe more confrontational, more public, more visible, involves a little bit more risk, so that then you can continue to move towards your goals and not just be stymied by this one thing that happened, but also always be able to know that you have more tactics in your belt if those first things don't work, right? Another key thing here is that it links back to building your organization, because it takes a lot of trust and collaboration to have a lot of people who are willing to do a really high intensity thing, like have 1,000 people walking down the quad in support of real food. Well, you need to have gotten all those people involved. So it's not worth it to expend all the energy to do a really huge thing if it would have taken just having a meeting. However, you do want to always continually be building that support in case you need to do something like that. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about tactics? Because this is, yeah.
I think it's also important to consider whether pushing the button harder would do it or whether pushing a different button would do it.
Yeah.
Because you might just be targeting the wrong place, but hitting it, really hard, and then that wouldn't do anything either.
Yeah, and that's, again, why doing the research to figure out who your targets are, who those specific powerful people are, is really key, right? That's a great way of saying it. Are you push it harder, or are you pushing the wrong button? That's great. Any other questions? Because tactics is sort of like murky waters. What are
Yeah.
we talking about?
Can we keep brainstorming some more tactics? I like filling out this chart. Yeah.
I guess a higher intensity tactic, which I'm not sure if I'm in favor of, but maybe I need to think about it more, would be to have like a protest of eating at the dining halls until they put in more real food.
Yeah. Cool. So that you're talking about a protest, right? And there can be a lot of different kinds of protests. But you're also kind of talking about a boycott, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Not a
Just to give an example.
right. Cool.
And that's great. Again, it's cool to acknowledge you aren't really sure if you're into it. It's really important to think ahead. You don't want to be stuck in, oh, we didn't plan for this, what do we do? All of this is about having a really solid plan, filling out this, taking hours to fill out this chart and really be sure of what you want and who's going to do it and who you're targeting and how you're going to do it. So let's maybe read, actually, the tactics all together one last time.
All right. So a tactic is what you do with your constituency to your target to achieve your goals and